In today's video, we will talk about the current Solana crazy rally and the explosion that's happening. And I just want to throw this out there. We're not going to be talking about buying Solana or which coins on the Solana ecosystem is popular because, well, everything is super pumped up. So instead, I'm going to cover what I think will be the next rotation of liquidity in the market, where the current speculators on Solana are already taking profit, the ones have been in the ecosystem early, and where they are likely to be moving next. I think that's the play that is way more attractive and way more important. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're newer to the channel, welcome. My name is Dennis. I'm a crypto angel investor for the past 5 years, and I have invested in over 100 crypto startups. On this channel, I share my views on market trends, hot topics, news, investing strategy to build wealth in crypto. Okay. So first off, let's just quickly cover our position on Solana. So Solana is starting to look like a really good time to start taking profits. So as you can see, this chart, even on the 4 hour, it has been up. How much is this? This is on the 4 hour candle, that is like 12% already. So if you keep this up, even in the same momentum, if you're just entering now, by the end of the day, we're talking about 50% up in a day. That is not going to be sustainable. Let me just put this out there. If I had any Solana still right now, I would sell all of it, at least waiting for a pullback. That's just my opinion. Can it run? Sure. Can it run another 10%? Sure. Does that matter? I don't think so. I think the risk to reward here is super high for the risk side already. It's just no longer worth it for me. So that's not to say, we couldn't have made profit. So in fact, for the past week, when we were doing live streams, when everyone was on Chainlink, for example, for the past week, when Chainlink rallied to 15, I already covered that, okay, I'm not necessarily interested in Chainlink here because look at this, Chainlink was too aggressive. So I had to stay very conservative. But Solana, for example, had this consolidation that it has been just going sideways since November 1st. And if we date back to a little bit further on November 7th, you see we were watching this very closely for the breakout. So this was when Solana was 42, just breaking out of this consolidation. And then here broke out of this consolidation yesterday. Actually 2 days ago, came down to retest once, came down to retest a second time. So we were in a long trade here. And if you follow there, congrats. I took profits on this relatively early in the 50s. I didn't expect it to hit 60s, but good trade nonetheless. So you can find all of our trades, in fact, in our Discord, where we have taken profits on Solana right here. And all of our copy traders, well, good job, guys. So before we get deep into the weeds, if you want to follow my trades, make sure to check the links down in the description. We have our free Discord and free VIP program, where I post all my trade setups and VIP alpha that have catalyst events coming up for certain altcoins of the week. And also, you can follow my trades directly on Fairdesk, where you can find also in the link in the description. And yeah, it's the easiest way to follow along and learn trading as we go. So because I also explain every trade setup. Okay, now, where do I think the money is flowing to next? So a lot of people on Twitter are talking about Solana ecosystem now. So you see here, CoinGecko even pointed out Solana ecosystem seeing massive gains, right? And you can just check this by yourself. So on Solana, on CoinGecko, Solana itself on the day is up 21%. But a trick here you can do is going into this chain tab here, clicking on Solana ecosystem, and that will bring you to the ecosystem tokens, the altcoins that exist on Solana, that serves the Solana ecosystem. And you see these guys are up massively as well. So we don't want to count, Tether, etc. But just scroll down a little bit. You see, first off, BENQI, the dog coin on Solana, is up 270%. Radium up 60%. Orca up 40%, Star Alice 38%, Shadow 280%, everything, most of the ecosystem coins are up 50% on the day. So this is also extremely not sustainable. This is simply just people super excited about Solana and just trying to squeeze the last bit of liquidity that can get while everyone is so interested in Solana right now. Now, this is nothing new, right? This is a very, very typical pattern that we have seen time and time again in the crypto market. So in fact, I have even covered this way back. How long is this ago? I want to say this is 2.5 weeks ago. But in the short term, 2 weeks ago, where Solana just had its first rally, and I even went into here. So was it this one here? Nope, not this one. Might be this one then. Here. So, this was when Solana first started its run up in the beginning of November. And I was warning people that, okay, you don't want to, if you're trying to get into Solana ecosystem, well, probably wait for a pullback then. But here you see Solana ecosystem gems. And we already covered the, you want to aim for the top decentralized exchanges, top DeFi protocols, basically the coins that all exist on Solana only, and the Solana ecosystem fans they like to buy. So we specifically covered Radium, we covered Orca, and I think these two were my favorite actually. Yeah, Radium and Orca are the top two decentralized exchanges, and we covered it. Radium at 30 cents, Orca at $1.40, and you can just see these are way up also as well. Radium's at 42 now, and Orca's at $2. So not bad. I think, to be completely honest, I don't think the money is in Solana ecosystem now anymore. It's simply just a matter of, early participants taking profits now, while the new wave of kind of latecomers, they come into the Solana ecosystem, they think it's really going to shoot to the moon today. But I think the reality check will be coming quite soon. I'm not saying, Solana will go way lower, but just this is a really good point to take profit, in my opinion. So that's why I'm not interested in the Solana ecosystem right now anymore. Probably will stay out of it for about a week or so. But here is where I think the attention and money will be flowing to next. So if you guys have been around the crypto bull run in 2021, late 2021, when all the layer ones were popping up, the main alternative layer ones are Solana, Luna before it crashed, AVAX. Those were the main ones. And it used to be that whenever Solana popped up, people would be dumping their money right after into the other strong alternative layer ones, Luna and AVAX, sometimes even Phantom, Polygon, etc. These few other chains. So why does this happen? This is because it's really a casino rotation. You could think of it this way. So the reason why these ecosystem tokens on Solana is popping off, and specifically these ones, not the ones that you see on centralized exchanges, but the DeFi ones, the DGen ones, for example, BENQI, which is mainly trading on-chain with a wallet. The reason why this is the case is because this rally is heavily driven by Twitter degens, by the DeFi crowd, the people that like to trade on-chain. So they bring their money from whatever their wallet is currently at, bridge it over to Solana and buy into these coins. That's how the liquidity is flowing right now. So that's why these guys will want to, once they take profit, they will want to start to find the next casino. And the next casino has to be super active on-chain, DeFi focused. This is why usually it flows into things like AVAX, things like Polygon. I believe Arbitrum as well will catch a bid in their ecosystem, because most of the tokens on here are trading on-chain. You access them on decentralized exchanges from a wallet instead of a centralized exchange. And this is why in the 2021 bull market, when people were rotating, it was Solana, Luna, AVAX, and sometimes, Phantom, Harmony, etc. It was never like Cardano or XRP or Polkadot or even Atom, because it's a very big jump, because the people that had the MetaMask wallet and they are willing to bridge on-chain, well, they couldn't really bridge onto Cardano very easily. It's a completely different crowd that knows these projects. That's why I think liquidity will flow into Avalanche, Arbitrum, probably Polygon as well, in the next week, maybe 2 weeks. And this is where I am getting heavily positioned right now. So you can see Avalanche is already catching a bid this morning, where starting its first rally here. And to be completely honest, I think this is just starting. So if you map the chart of Avalanche versus Solana, really this has been lagging behind, and I think it's about the time for a catch up. So I have also notified our Discord last night, where I was going to AVAX heavy at $14.50. Solana and AVAX are the two main Ethereum killers that everyone already knows. In the last market, the rotation was Solana to Luna to AVAX. I think this is going to happen right now. Everyone is showing Solana now. There's absolutely no reason to FOMO. I think you just got to stay a little bit ahead of the game, which is very well could be AVAX. So that's why, I entered into AVAX right around 14.5, stop loss at 12, take profit at least $20 plus, right? So that's why this is the trade that I'm looking at right now. Okay, so that's AVAX. Now, I also think there is a way higher beta play that you can get on the AVAX ecosystem by getting into the top ecosystem altcoins on AVAX, because not a lot of people know which ones to track, right? So if you follow CoinGecko on for AVAX and then you go on the Avalanche ecosystem tag here, you're not going to see much, right? You'll see a bunch of projects you already know, and it wouldn't be immediately obvious. This is because, if you're new to the DeFi scene, you wouldn't know okay, what was the history of AVAX and what were the decentralized exchanges on there and the early projects that committed to AVAX. So let me give you a hint here. So what you can do is, typically for one of these chains, you go on to DeFi Llama, and then you go on the chains tab. And then let's say you want to find the top coins on AVAX that's popular in DeFi. You go to Avalanche, and then you scroll down, and here's a couple of things to note. So first, you want to aim for the high TVL ones, or total value locked. This is by how much money is deposited there. And very, very important, you want to aim for projects that only have support for Avalanche exclusively, or maybe one or two other chains that they do, but the main chain is AVAX. So in this case, you see the clearest one here is BENQI protocol, right? This is a lending and borrowing and liquid staking protocol exclusively built for AVAX. And this coin I have already picked up yesterday, right around this price, actually, exact same price, because I think a lot of people are still not really catching on to this. So this is a really good buy, I think, just right now, as long as AVAX can become popular next week. Another one that you guys might be familiar with is Trader Joe. So this is the leading decentralized exchange on Avalanche for the entire bull run, right? This was the main place that everyone traded on AVAX. Every single token on AVAX launched on Trader Joe. So this one I also bought last night, right around, I want to say 33 cents or so. So it's a little bit higher, maybe 5% higher, but very close to current prices. In fact, if you want to look at these two coins on TradingView, honestly, they haven't seen that dramatic rise yet. So yes, it has been slowly grinding up for the past month with Bitcoin's strength, right? Up 60% from the bottom. But if you just simply look at Bitcoin from October 19th, right? For example, here, look at Bitcoin from October 19th up to here. Even Bitcoin is already up 30%, right? And then you look at every other coin, right? AVAX itself, for example, from October 19th to here, AVAX itself is already up 81%. So the fact that Trader Joe is only up 60, I think the AVAX ecosystem coins are heavily undervalued right now, as long as the rotation game can actually play out. Similarly for BENQI, here you see from October 18th, we just want to draw the same chart. This is only up 43%, while AVAX itself is up 80%. So all in all, as long as the interest for AVAX can come, or AVAX, the coin itself, the layer one coin itself leads the race, the same kind of rotation people will take on Twitter, right? Because, today when you look at the Solana ticker on Twitter, everyone is talking about, Solana going up, but also Solana ecosystem. Hey, this is the way you make money now. You want to get the meme coin on Solana. But after it already pumped 300%. So I don't think that's the play. I think heavily, AVAX ecosystem is where I'm focusing on next week. So in fact, I also covered this last night as well. Heavily going into AVAX bet, picking up Joe and BENQI. Okay. And if you just want last bit of comparison, Trader Joe is the decentralized exchange on AVAX. On Solana's sake, that is the equivalent of Radium or Orca. And when it comes to BENQI, it is the lending and borrowing protocol and the liquid staking protocol, which is very similar to the Marinade on Solana, right? So you see Marinade on Solana, huge rally up, and this is kind of what I'm expecting for a similar type of ecosystem scenario playing out. Okay, so that's on Avalanche. Now, a couple more ecosystems. I think Arbitrum is also very likely to catch a bid. Now that Luna is kind of out of the race, right? Like nobody really cares about Luna anymore. There isn't that many other alternative ecosystems that people like to trade on chain. One of the few that is still very popular is Arbitrum. And it also helps that Arbitrum has their incentive program that is, I believe it's already starting to be released, and the yield percentages on Arbitrum is getting boosted from now until end of January. So Arbitrum, also another coin that I have been heavily mentioning in our Discord. And here you see Arbitrum. I'm currently in this trade as well. So getting on this bounce right here, because it's the breakout above this previous resistance level, which is now turned into support at $1.14. So getting a bounce, and at the very least, I think we should be able to see $1.30 as long as Bitcoin stays, as long as Bitcoin doesn't go down a lot. And this is riding on essentially two scenarios, right? So number one is the rotation coming from Solana to Arbitrum. And number two is that, well, Ethereum is very popular. So if Ethereum pops up, coming from the Ethereum ETF news, well, Arbitrum is one of the top altcoins in the Ethereum broader landscape, right? Because it's the leading Ethereum layer 2. It's where all the Ethereum DeFi crowd likes to hang out as well. And that has going with it. And last but not least, their own incentive program. So I am also in a Arbitrum trade right now. And yeah, I also, alerted this yesterday in Discord as well. Added to our Arbitrum long at $1.14. So this is honestly just a rotation game, right? Everyone is looking at Solana now. So just look at the few coins that is currently building up towards this next rally. Very similar to how when everyone was looking at Chainlink last week, we were looking at Solana. Now when everyone's looking at Solana, we look at the next players up. That's it. Okay, so similarly for Arbitrum ecosystem, there's also a few notable altcoins that I think are very worthy to pay attention to. Obviously, number one here, GMX. So GMX, the leading DeFi product on Arbitrum. It's a decentralized exchange, and it also helps that it's the two chains that it functions on are Arbitrum and also Avalanche. So whichever one pops up, this one is going to be there. So that's pretty cool as well. GMX. Another one up is Radiant Capital. Now I have already covered this quite quite in depth for our October top altcoins video, because they had a mainnet launch on Ethereum as well. So that's on Radiant. And last but not least, Camelot. This is the decentralized exchange that is exclusively built for the Arbitrum ecosystem. And I think this one is already running quite hard this past week. Yeah, you see from $850 all the way up to $1,700. So it's already doubled. So I think this one is could be a little bit later, but for all intents and purposes, RDNT still heavily undervalued. I think as long as Arbitrum actually has a rally. Similarly for GMX. And last but not least, you can track all of the DeFi TVL and top protocols on Arbitrum on DeFi Llama. And you see here, this is what I'm talking about. GMX mainly on Arbitrum, but also on Avalanche. Uniswap, it doesn't count because it serves every chain. So that is not a Arbitrum ecosystem token. Here we have RDNT, which is Arbitrum, BSC, Ethereum, but Ethereum is okay. There's no Ethereum ecosystem token per se. And RDNT also launched on Arbitrum first. This is important. They have that close relationship. Lastly, Camelot. You see, this is a decentralized exchange that only exists on Arbitrum. This is what's important. Okay, so honestly, Avalanche ecosystem, Arbitrum ecosystem, these are going to be my top 2 focus for next week. If they don't pop up next week, I think even next 2 weeks, I think money will start to flow back into these chains. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, right, you can also look at maybe Polygon. Again, Polygon also has their mainnet, their token upgrade with Polygon 2.0, where the Polygon Matic token is being rebranded to the POL token, POL, and they have new tokenomics around that as well. So that's a pretty significant catalyst. And I think Polygon here, if you look at the chart of Matic, I'm not sure if POL is already live trading. It is. That's pretty good. But yeah, here's the chart of Polygon. Again, pretty quiet few days, right? So here, significant resistance level right around that 85 cents range, right? So not much going on here, but this is honestly way better looking than Solana right now. If I have to choose between a few ecosystems, Avalanche, Polygon chart looks pretty decent. It just needs to get above this range, right? If it can do something like this, then that's going to look very attractive to me. Something like this at the retest right here at 85 cents. This will confirm the rally, and this will be accelerating upward if it happens, right? We just want to avoid breaking below 80 cents for Polygon. Now, the reason why I only mentioned Polygon, the coin itself, is because and the fact that I don't have Polygon right now is because their ecosystem is a little bit weaker. Most of the Polygon applications are not DeFi. They are mainly like retail adoption, enterprise adoption. So when it comes to Polygon chain, TVL, you see right here, most of these protocols are multi-chain, right? They don't serve Polygon alone. So it's a bit harder to find altcoins that may pop up in the Polygon ecosystem. Maybe the only one that is interesting is QuickSwap. If you want just one pick, this is the only one that I have. I don't have anything else on here. So that's why, if you want to bet on Polygon, I would say just bet on Matic token itself. And yeah, that's about it for ecosystem rotation. Obviously, you can go way down the list as well. You can go into Optimism, you can go into Chronos, you can even go into like Harmony or Phantom, but just pay attention, right? These ecosystem rotations, they only happen a few times, right? Usually by the third time it happens, it dies completely, right? Because now everyone is still very frothy in the Solana ecosystem. They're very willing to bet on Solana altcoins, whatever is there. So when these people move on to AVAX and they have already seen the rise and fall in the Solana ecosystem, they will want to make the rotation a lot faster, right? So they get into the AVAX altcoins, but only the top ones. And then once it pops up, they are most likely to be exiting quite quickly and then moving on to the next chain. If that's Arbitrum or if that's Polygon, it's going to get even faster, right? As people become more and more attuned to this way of trading. So that's why, I wouldn't want to get into very small ecosystems. And that's why, Avalanche, Arbitrum, I think that's about it. The ones that I'm interested in that I think still have potential to pop off and for their ecosystem tokens to do well. Okay, so that's basically all the charts I wanted to cover for today. Again, very similar to our stance for the past 2 weeks or so, how I've been trading this market. You want to focus on just getting a little bit ahead of the curve, right? It's all about the ebbs and flows. Solana pops off, when Solana pops up, the few, other altcoins that have been lagging slightly behind, they go sideways for a bit before they pop off, right? And similarly, when, Avalanche, when Arbitrum, when even Chainlink is popping off, Solana takes a dip again, and then that's when you want to focus on Solana once again. So that's why right now, last bit on the chart, when Solana is popping off, want to avoid it and want to look at the other outperformers in the market that can repeat this kind of pattern. So I think that's very clearly AVAX, Arbitrum, and their ecosystem altcoins, for example, Joe, BENQI Finance, right? And then Matic, right? Matic token itself. This is a really cool looking chart as long as it can break above 85 cents. Even, for example, Chainlink, right, is a better buy right now than Solana. Even though, it has been rallying for so long, at least it has this consolidation period. So if Chainlink can just have a pullback towards 15.5 cents, $15.50, I think that's going to be quite attractive as well, right? So something like this on Chainlink, that's definitely going to be a buy for me for reload on the next wave. And yeah, just play the rotation game. That's all there is, right? And thank you guys for the interest and support on the channel. Hopefully these kind of more realistic approach and just staying ahead of the game a little bit is helping you guys play the altcoin season. This comes from so many, honestly, like 3 years of getting burnt on various different altcoin rotations, always trying to catch the current hot trend when in reality you just want to stay maybe 1 to 2 weeks ahead of the game. That's all it takes. That makes night and day difference. So yeah, that's it. Before I go, make sure to follow me on virtualbacon.com, where you can find all of our links and join our Discord for all the trade setups, free trade setups, free altcoin alerts from myself and all of our analysts. And you can join the discussion as well. And if you want to follow my trades directly, you can check the links down in the description for our Fair Desk copy trading, or you can find all of it on virtualbacon.com. And last but not least, make sure to follow me on Twitter or X at virtualbacon0x. This is where I post daily altcoin alpha, and I have been covering my rotation going into the Avalanche ecosystem as well yesterday. So usually I cover these, my thoughts, I build them up on Twitter before I cover them on the videos and live stream. So a lot more alpha there as well. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for joining today's video and live stream, and I will see you on the next episode. Cheers. Bye-bye.